Well, Zion is back. He's healthier than ever, apparently. He's, for the first time ever, lighter than me. So let's get down and let's check him out and see how he played. Because he is pretty well unstoppable still, but he's less weight. So let's say how he plays. Really quickly, if you want to be able to jump higher like Zion, make sure to go check out the vertical jump training book that is down in the description below. Okay, so right here, Zion gets this rebound. He goes for a quick power dribble, and he comes to a 2-foot jump stop after taking that power dribble. That's a dribble with two hands. After that dribble and that jump stop, he's able to go up for that reverse layup. That's actually really smart. The reason why that's smart is because now, if we actually look really closely, he's able to use his body as a shield against that defender and able to use that mesh as a defender because the defender cannot touch the mesh, which basically means that's an unstoppable layup. Now, here's Zion coming down in transition, and there's a few things that he does extremely well that you can do. It doesn't matter if you are a power forward / small forward like Zion, or if you are a point guard. Watch what he does right here. After this cross, he does one attack dribble. That cross is a setup cross to be able to find the angle to the basket or the lane to the basket so that he can get his layup or his dunk. He takes that one dribble, picks up that ball, keeps it high, and finishes at the rim. Now, the reason why this is important is because if he took more than one dribble, so that's one dribble there, if he took a second dribble, let's say right about there, it's either going to go off that defender's foot, it's also going to be slowing down Zion getting to the rim, but it is also potentially going to be stolen by this defender, potentially by Booker, potentially by this guy. There's 3 defenders around him. So by picking that ball up early, taking 2 big, massive steps to the basket, he is now able to finish at the rim and not have anyone contesting the layup. Now, on this drive that Zion has to the basket, it's not a straight line drive, but he's actually really smart about it. So he attacks the basket, but he's attacking the middle of the paint. As soon as this defender's shoulders point towards this sideline and not towards Zion himself, this tells him he needs to either snatch back or spin off because now he has lost that defender. It is now, if this guy can just get the heck out of the way, basically a free path to the basket. And because this defender should not be helping out on the ball, because this would be ball side, this means that by this offensive player, his teammate popping out, puts this defender in a precarious situation. Does he cover the drive or does he cover the 3-point shot? Well, this guy doesn't get out of the way in time. This allows this defender here, it looks like Durant, to be in the path of Zion, but it don't really matter because Zion is still able to pass it off to his teammate for the open dunk. Court vision is very important if you are a player looking to play in the NBA. Now, while the decision that Zion made here was the right decision, this should have been a pass up to the sideline to push Hibio getting out of the way, and that would have been a layup for potentially him or potentially him. But instead, Zion held on to it just a bit too long and passed it over towards his right side. At this point, there's not many options to try and push the ball to get some free, easy layups. However, his teammates still banged the 3, so there is that. It ended up being the right decision anyways. But if we rewind, I would have much rather had this pass going here and then the pass going to this side after he drives. Again, Zion is driving up the court, ball side, helping out. Big mistake, tends to happen in the NBA a lot. And then it's just basically an open corner 3. If you're a player who is driving to the basket a lot, you have to be able to find these corner 3-point shooters or the weak side 45 cutters. Those are the 2 that you need to be able to find. If you're going against a zone, the player on the weak side dunker spot is also somebody else that you need to look for. These 3 spots are the most important if you are a player who is a slasher. Now, this is actually a kind of a smart play. So, coming over here, Zion's cleared the side. He's got his teammate setting the screen towards the middle of the court. Now, Zion originally was looking at this side earlier on in the play, which is why this player was kind of shadowing that side. However, by these 3 players clearing out, that pulls these defenders out as well, which means that the whole middle lane is wide open, and this guy really should have been here. But instead, Zion's able to attack the basket. He, again, should be here. This should be a wall. I would not want, if I was the coach, Zion getting a free path to the basket, because one-on-one, he's kicking everyone's ass, which means that these 2 guys should be walling up, and that's not happening. Obviously, teammates should be able to get corner 3s off of this defense for Zion, but these guys, I would much rather have a 3-point shot by somebody who's shooting 35% from 3 versus a 90-something% chance at the basket, because he's just so massive. And this is what I mean by just so massive. Here, he's able to steal that rebound off of that defensive player. He's able to then control it, takes one power dribble, gets his body into what looks to be Bol Bol. Obviously, there's a massive size disadvantage there for Bol Bol, massive advantage for Zion, and he's able to finish over 2 players. And anytime that a team can get this kind of a switch, so anytime that Zion can get this switch where he's being switched off from the forward onto a guard, and the guard is even giving him space to drive. Like, normally, when you give this much space, you're forcing this guy to shoot, because not many players are going to be able to get around you if you're giving space like this. However, Zion is a massive human being, which means that he is going to be like, oh, thanks for the takeoff point, thanks for the airport, basically, and I'm just going to get to the rim. I'm going to body you, and I'm going to get to the rim. So these are some tips that you can use if you want to play like Zion. Of course, these are going to be mostly for players who can kind of get a little bit of a body. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't use these skills as a guard. Players who I've trained and coached who are guards use these skills, so you can too. Definitely go check out the vertical jump training book that is down in the description below. That's going to help you jump higher, and I'll see you guys again in my next video.